Hello everyone, I'm Max Braswell, Executive Vice President of the Arkansas Forestry Association, and welcome to the 2020 AFA Awards celebration. This year for the first time, we're holding it virtually. It's always my pleasure to get to introduce you to the Logger of the Year. And in 2020, the AFA Logger of the Year is Derrick Wilkins and his crew from Derrick Wilkins Logging from Russellville, Arkansas. Derrick was nominated by Tristan Freely, a forester with Green Bay Packaging, and we appreciate Tristan for this outstanding nomination. Derrick has been a contractor for Green Bay Packaging for more than 2 decades, and he also has done an extensive amount of work helping private landowners with their logging operations as well. We had an opportunity to visit Derrick and his crew recently, so let's hear from Tristan as he tells you a little bit about why he selected Derrick for the award. We'll get to meet Derrick and his crew, and you can find out exactly why he is so deserving of the 2020 AFA Logger of the Year.
Worked with Derrick for about 6.5 years now whenever I first came to Green Bay, and he's been a contractor here even since before I was here. And he's always held a certain level of expectation with quality with his jobs. He cares about it deeply. Just the perspective from the public or from the landowner or from Green Bay on his job quality. And so that's led to him to have a certain business model that's surrounded around that quality. You know, he's always asking me as the mediator between him and the forester, or him and the landowner, what is the landowner thinking? Are they happy with things? Is there anything we can change? He is consistently asking that question to us. Work trucks, log trucks, they're all clean. He has regular routine maintenance on them, and what that leads to, and his equipment as well, and what that leads to is the public's perception on his logging job is of quality. You know, it's always clean. There's no oil, smoke, trash, there's nothing like that. And I know personally, one of the very small things, but it is a telltale sign of the quality he expects, is if you go to his work trucks, there's always a trash bag hanging off the back of them. And I know that it seems very minuscule, but it's a big impact just to show the certain type of quality that he holds on his job. Derrick is always open to hearing what we've got going on project-wise, and his first initial reaction is never just no. We talk through it as to what we're trying to accomplish, and it never fails. He's there to help us help the landowner, and that goes so far with us and the landowners as well.
Well, Derrick, it's a pleasure for me to be able to present you with the 2020 Logger of the Year. It's always a privilege to get to come to a logging site, to meet your crew, to learn a little bit about what makes you unique. I want to tell you it's important from AFA's perspective that we have great loggers like you. It's our job to promote the industry, and when we can tell your story about the great things that you do, the sustainability and the responsibility that you bring to the logging site, it just makes it all the more special to us. So please accept this with our gratitude for what you do, and congratulations to you and your crew.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Couldn't do it without these guys behind us here.
Absolutely, and thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Rob Beadle. I'm the Director of Forestry Education with the Arkansas Forestry Association Education Foundation. This year's Forestry Educator of the Year Award is presented to Clint Johnson, a private lands wildlife biologist for the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Clint's primary focus is working with private landowners in central Arkansas, providing them with information, assistance, and resources to improve wildlife habitat on their property. I've worked with Clint on several occasions at AFA-sponsored landowner workshops and educating teachers on the benefits of prescribed fire through our Teacher Conservation Tour workshop series. Clint's dedication to sharing information about the importance of ecosystem management with landowners and educators across the state makes him a worthy recipient of this award.
We in this profession, we've got the benefit of college education and years of experience doing what we do, but the majority of the land base is owned by people that don't have that benefit. These are doctors, lawyers, factory workers, whatever the case may be, that are have a lot of experience too, but in a very different field. So education allows us to take the information that we've gathered over our whole careers and pass that information on to them. And it has to be packaged in a way that a layman can understand it. But delivering that information is very important. If all the knowledge that we've got stays in our heads, it doesn't do anybody any good. We've got to disseminate it to the people that own and manage the land. I'm a private lands biologist, and I assist private landowners in achieving their objectives on the property, and oftentimes figuring out what those objectives are. So meeting with them, taking a look at the property, figuring out what they want to do, and then writing management plans for them to achieve that, securing funding for them, then helping with the technical aspects of putting that habitat work on the ground. I was really surprised and honored, obviously, but surprised with AFA being a forestry organization, me being a biologist and non-forester, just shocked and honored that the work I'm doing, which is a little bit outside forestry, was impressive enough to you guys to honor me with that award. So I never saw it coming. Very surprised. We're after the same objectives. So healthy forests lead to healthy wildlife populations. I look at the trees in a little bit different aspect of what a forester might, but we are wanting the same thing, a healthy ecosystem that benefits the plant and animals that live there.
Clint, we'd like to thank you very much for being our Educator of the Year for the Arkansas Forestry Association. You're a great recipient. You do a lot of great work with the public, with our teachers, and we're honored to recognize you as the 2020 Forestry Educator of the Year.
Thank you. This means a lot to me. This is awesome.
Thanks a lot.
So I'd like to say thank you to AFA for this award. AFA is a wonderful partnership for us in both directions, both funding workshops that we do and allowing us as game and fish biologists to get out in front of the public and delivering good education, as well as bringing together other partners, Forestry Commission, industry, and other agencies to all get after the same thing that we want, which is healthy forest ecosystem. So thank you guys again for the continued partnership but between Game and Fish and AFA and all the partnerships that you guys have enabled. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Johnson. I am the administrator of the Arkansas Tree Farm Program. Each year I get to work with thousands of landowners, and it is an amazing thing for me. I have worked with experienced landowners and novice landowners, and a few years ago I had the pleasure of going to a Women Owning Woodlands workshop and met a brand new tree farmer. She had just bought some timberland and was so excited. She worked with professionals in her area and throughout the state and has gone from that brand new nervous landowner to somebody who really understands what good forest management is all about. She went from a landowner to a workshop attendee to a presenter and is now the Arkansas Outstanding Tree Farmer of the Year for 2020. I would like to congratulate Pam Jolly of the Patton Tree Farm for this award.
Well, Jeff Berry, he nominated me and called me and told me that he was nominating me. At that time, I was really astounded. I was so I was grateful and happy and all those things. I really did not know I had won, I think, until Jennifer told me. Well, it's just kind of like a monument that has said, hey, you have done some good things for this property. You've done, I'm not telling you I've done everything right, but I have done enough right that people noticed. And that just makes you feel really, really good inside, that for others to notice.
We're here today to award Pam Jolly with the Patton Tree Farm the Outstanding Tree Farmer of the Year of 2020. And I can't think of a better, more deserving individual.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I've got a lot of people that help me do this. Isn't that wonderful? And first, I'd like to thank my husband, who's just been supporting me all the way through this endeavor, and has really backed me, and my kids and I, we really had a lot of fun. And doing it. I want to thank Jeff Berry. He's the one that, from Green Bay, he's the one that nominated me. And when he called me, I was shocked. I was in disbelief. Then I've got a lot of other people that helped me, like Lewis Horn, he's retired now, and Tamara Walking Stick, that's retired. Everybody's retired now. And I've got some people here that I want to mention because I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without the knowledge of these foresters. And that George Reinhardt. George Reinhardt cued me in on the CSP program. Eric Myers, I call Eric all the time. And Jim Rogers, he traps beaver for this place. And John House and Joe Richardson from the USDA, the AFAS program, they trap the hogs on this place. And Justin Spears, he's done the low water bridges and some bulldozing for us. Make it, because when we first bought the place, you couldn't even get in here. There was no road. And anyway, the Forestry Service made some fire breaks, and Mario Garcia, he did the the hack and squirt on 181 acres here. And all the folks at the Forestry Association, especially Jennifer and Max. And if I left anybody out, I'm so sorry, because I really used every professional that I could. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Seth Stevenson, the Communications Coordinator for the Arkansas Forestry Association. And communication this year has been a little more challenging than it has in years past, but our 2020 Communicator of the Year continues to provide information not only to us, but to landowners and other forestry professionals. Now, a communicator is someone who provides helpful information to its recipients. This is something our communicator has done for a number of years now, and they don't plan on stopping anytime soon. With that, we would like to introduce to you our 2020 AFA Communicator of the Year, Regine Skelton.
The active management is generally best. A lot of people have this understanding or thought process that leave it alone is best, and that can work in certain situations, but a lot of situations the forest needs some management, especially since we have a bunch of humans living within the forest. I kind of grew up with the green movement, so it was always pretty important to me to care about the environment, and I went into forestry so that I could help people manage their forest lands, whether they were big or small. And I started private and then went federal, and now I'm with state, and that seems to be the best source for me. We've kind of suppressed fire in the nation for 100 years, and that has resulted in a whole bunch of dense thickets and overgrown forests and a lot of lack of management because people think don't touch it is best. So again, my angle is going to be really get some active management on the ground. We're really lucky in Arkansas, and our regulations are well followed but also voluntary, so that allows us to get fast action in the woods without a bunch of costly and time-consuming legislative action in order to, say, thin your timber. I really appreciate the ability to make a whole bunch of forest products that are natural, renewable, biodegradable, and create habitat in their very creation and use, which would allow us to use less timber from more critical areas like the rainforest, where we cannot grow that back in 25 years like we can in pine stand here. The active use of the land can really sustain its use as forest, and people have a lot of concerns about deforestation, but as long as you plant the forest back, it's not really deforestation. Deforestation is when it's land conversion. You're taking a forest and turning it into a field. You're turning it into a parking lot. Whereas if you take a forest and even if you clear cut it, which some people have issues with, but even if you clear cut it, that's first of all a buffet for a lot of animals for 5 years. And as long as you replant it, that's still considered a forest. It's just a different type of forest. And the other key is wildlife needs a variety. If we have all old growth forest across all of the state, that's not very useful to our wildlife. So we really got to keep the variety for them.
Regine, this is our Communicator of the Year award. We wanted to present this to you. Congratulations. Thank you for all of the work that you've done for us or with us over the past couple years. So is there anything you'd like to say?
Thank you very much for this award. It means a lot to be recognized for my hard work, and I intend to continue this hard work of reaching out to landowners across the state and beyond to see if I can help them manage their timberland.
Part of my duties as the communications coordinator is to help facilitate the Log-A-Load for Kids program across the state. And for the past 27 years now, the Arkansas chapter of Log-A-Load for Kids has worked tirelessly to help raise money to assist children in need at Arkansas Children's. The AFA Log-A-Load for Kids Volunteer of the Year Award highlights the selflessness of those volunteers. And this year's award winner has made it a point to help in some way, no matter how small, for the past 20 years now. They're retired at this point in time, but wish to help in any way they can, especially since their granddaughter was treated at the hospital not that long ago. So I would personally like to say thank you and congratulations to our 2020 AFA Log-A-Load Volunteer of the Year Award winner, Mr. Jim Donham.
There's so many people out there that are active and doing, to me, have contributed a lot more than what I have that deserve it more than me, but I am honored. I mean, I just was taken back by it. It took me a few minutes after I got off the phone with you the other day to realize, I said, what are you doing? But anyway, it's just an honor. And since I've been involved in Log-A-Load, it just each year that goes by, I'm just more fascinated by the logging industry and what they contribute. When I got started, actually it was, I think 1993 is when it started. I was small part of it, and as a matter of fact, it was just a handful of people that were involved in it at that time. But as it continued to grow, and as it continued to grow, I got more involved. But I was always kind of a grunt guy. I never did really organize anything, but I don't think I have missed a Log-A-Load in the 26, 27 years there. So I'm really proud of that organization. It just never ceases to amaze me how the logging community has come together for such a worthy cause. I have a story that started out kind of frightful. I had a granddaughter that was born a year and a half ago, and she had a spot on her lungs that nobody knew what it was, and she was in the children's hospital for a while, and she's a healthy year-and-a-half-year-old now, and matter of fact, she went to children's hospital yesterday for a checkup, and everything's fine. So, but that was my experience with it. But yes, there's very few families that you can talk to that hadn't had experience with children's hospital, and everybody I've talked to, 100% positive. They're just the staff. Part of the Log-A-Load being involved in it, we go to the Children's Hospital every year for a tour, and that kind of pumps me up too when you see what's being done and the staff, the doctors, and you can actually see the money that's been put back into the hospital by Log-A-Load for Kids that have just affected so many children's lives. You can't walk through that hospital and not see some of the effects of Log-A-Load for Kids. It's just it fascinates me every time I go up there, and it makes me proud to be a part of that organization. I hope new people continue to come in to Log-A-Load, and I don't see anything but success going forward to Log-A-Load, and I'm going to try to be a part of that as long as I can.
All right, Mr. Donham, this here is your award for our 2020 AFA Log-A-Load Volunteer of the Year.
Thank you very much, Steph. I'm just still very honored to even be a part of the organization, and to be for my peers to think I qualify for something like this. It's just special to me, really is. And I thank everyone involved.
Now it's time for the AFA Presidents Award. This award is very special. It's given at the discretion of the AFA President at the end of his or her tenure and it is presented to someone who is extremely deserving, who has exhibited an outstanding level of support to the AFA president, or has a distinguished career as an AFA member or a member of the forestry sector. And this year's winner gets an A+ on all of those attributes. The winner is Frank Wilson, owner and operator of Wilson Brothers Lumber Company in Risen. Now, Robert joined us recently for a trip to see Frank, so let's hear from him. And by the way, Frank is a former past president of AFA, the current chairman of the Arkansas Forestry Commission. And so let's hear from Robert, and you'll find out from him why he felt that Frank was a worthy nominee and those attributes that make Frank such a deserving winner of the AFA Presidents Award.
My career path took me out of the state of Arkansas for a period of time, and I came back to Arkansas in 2010. At that time, I became involved with AFA, sitting around the table with the executive committee and that sort of thing. And it became obvious to me Frank was engaged, heavily engaged, strong supporter, big advocate. From ATPA, the logging business, landowners, the manufacturing sector, government affairs. It was obvious, I mean, and that Frank always brought things to the table, or always does. It was just apparent to me that Frank was a leader and that he was looking out for the best interest of the forest industry in the state of Arkansas. You know, I've heard about the big Wilson barbecue. I've not braved one, but I think that's just one thing that Frank does as an example. He tries to bring people together to what's good for us, so it's good for you, and it's a large group of stakeholders, if you will, that come to that, and he tries to bring everyone together for the good of the industry at the end of the day. So those are the big things that stood out for me with Frank.
You don't think of the impact that you have till you see the impact that you have, and sometimes that's is secondary. But long years ago, I had a friend named Robert Hickson, and he made the statement that you got to leave the world a better place than it is when you came to it. So then that's what got me involved with other aspects of even Arkansas Forestry. When you look at a little town like this, as much business as we bring into it through the logging and the sawmill, it has a pretty good impact on it. So you want to be part of everything, and you want to make everything. It's easier for me to do that now, being I got the family doing the work, and I I can do the meetings. I guess one of the more things that I have more pride in than anything else is the log a load for kids. I was in one of the first meeting that we had in this area at Clappingback's bakery down at Fordyce, and I guess that's been 21 or 22 years ago now, not sure, but that we never thought would do what it's doing, and that gives you pride to know that all you got to do is go to the Arkansas Children's Hospital. If you make a tour through that, you'll be proud of what you've done as part of the timber industry for the log load for kids. And so that's very, very rewarding. Really everything that you do, from helping a young man get started in business to giving advice that through your experience have had, is rewarding to you as an individual to know that you have helped somebody. And when they come back and say, thank you for helping it, it's even more rewarding.
Frank, I'm here today to present you with the Arkansas Forestry Association's Presidents Award. It's obvious for the many years of dedicated service, support, we want to say thank you. You represent the forest industry in all sectors within it very well. I know you represent logging, manufacturing, landowners. You're part of what's made Arkansas such a great state to be in the forest industry. The work you've done and the path you've laid for everyone else should be commended, and for that I want to recognize you with the President's Award today.
First of all, it's an honor to be chosen for this, and I appreciate Robert's considering me for this honor. I've always enjoyed working with the forestry community and the forest people, but the people of the forestry community is what makes the forestry here in this state, and I'm proud to be a part of it. And like I say, I feel like an honor that he chose me for this award. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for the 2020 AFA Awards celebration. Even though it wasn't exactly as we might have planned, we certainly appreciate you joining us in this virtual setting. We thank all of our attendees who've been a part of our meeting over the past 3 days. We especially thank our sponsors who made this meeting a success, all of our speakers, those who nominated our most worthy award winners today, and certainly those award winners who exhibit such outstanding traits and contribute so much to the forestry sector. Now, we hope next year is a normal year for us. We return to normal when we have the opportunity to visit with you in person. And we will be in Rogers, Arkansas at the Embassy Suites on October the 5th through the 7th, 2021. We hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all that you do for the Arkansas Forestry Association.